Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Civilization 7. Today I want to try out Ada Lovelace, and I want to do something a little bit interesting, a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a cultural attribute point and a scientific attribute point, because I think bringing an extra attribute point is pretty reasonable. And we're actually going to be starting off in the modern age. Let's explore what it's like to start off in the modern age as Ada Lovelace. I've never done a modern age start game, so I want to try it out. We'll play on deity, we'll play standard game speed, we'll do a continents plus, we'll do a small map size, just real standard settings. Nothing special, nothing changed. I have this theory, okay? So here's the theory behind why I want to give this a go. I have a theory that the reason the modern age doesn't feel very well fleshed out when you play through an entire game of Civilization 7 is that by the time that you reach the modern age, if you've been playing well, your empire is like insanely overpowered, right? You've got all sorts of stuff. Now, first things first, let's kind of talk about our hero abilities. We've got Enchantress of Numbers. Cities receive +2 science per age when you complete a civic mastery. So she's going to want a lot of cities. We gain culture equal to 60% of our total science per turn when we complete a technology mastery. So doing masteries and getting science and culture is definitely the focus of Ada Lovelace. And this is going to kind of guide us in our method of development, both on terms of leader attributes, right? So we'll take the first point in both scientific and cultural because we have to. But then we're going to want to be able to study masteries faster for sure. I think extra culture in settlements from resources being displayed is quite nice. And I think similarly being able to get science. So now we are scaling really well based on the number of settlements we have, based on researching tech and civic masteries, and based on assigning resources. Now we do have 6 wildcard points that we can assign. I'm going to talk about those in a moment. We've got to set up our advanced start here. And the question is, right, Ada Lovelace does really well with cities. So should we go for a city heavy opener here? Or should we build a bunch of towns and then upgrade them into cities? Now, there is something to consider here, and that is Great Britain has it more expensive to convert towns into cities. They do not, it's quite expensive for Britain to do that. So maybe opening with cities, at least one, is the right move. And I'm very much so an expansionist kind of player. Like maybe I want to go with as many towns as possible. I do like the idea of starting with as many towns and cities as possible. And then I'm going to take the wildcard attribute points so that I can scale off of all these towns and cities as hard as possible. I'm going to ignore all these other options here. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm those. Now, where do I want my second city to go? I do think that this navigable river here has a lot of value. There is an okay fishing town here. Can't really do much. This would be a better fishing town. So I'll put a little fishing town right there. There's Manchester. And where do we want to put our city? I do actually really like this tile for a city because it has a good mixture of water and land tiles. So I'm going to put the city right there. That'll be Leeds. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. We would give up this one coastal tile if we put a little town over here, but we would be on fresh water, which is brilliant. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So if we settled here, we would get a lot of water. I could settle here and get this pearl still, so I'll go right there. Then 1, 2, 3. This is the closest I could settle either of these two. I think I'll settle this one right there. There's Bradford. We've got 2 more towns we can place. I think a town right here is good, and then we'll sort of fill in right. I don't want to leave this empty, so I'll grab right there. That's fine. Perfect. So we found the Redwood Forest. We settled out our empire. It's not a perfect empire, okay? But it is, I think it's a reasonable, we maximized our ability to scale off of our cities. And so one way that we can kind of benefit from that is by definitely taking the opening economic point here and the opening diplomatic point. Now, the question is, do we also want to go down to the happiness from resource assigned? That could be quite good. That means we would be getting culture, science, and happiness from assigned resources, and that feels pretty good. So I'm going to go for that. And then on the economic side of things, because we want to get civics and tech masteries, I think picking this up is reasonable. Now we've got 6 points left, and this is the really key part. We are going to go down the left side of our expansionist tree here. We're going to go for the settler, 10% growth rate in cities, the food refund when we add a specialist, and the food and happiness towards maintaining specialists. And now the question is, do we want to double up on the food and cities per town and expand heavily to grow our cities like crazy? Or do we want to use these 2 points in another area? Perhaps we could go for building and building maintenance. We could go getting the specialist yields. We could, since we're heavily leaning into specialists on the expansionist point side of things, we could go for the extra science from specialists and the extra culture from specialists and then just have 3 cities and like scale off those really hard. And I think there's something interesting about that idea there, that we go for the hard scaling on specialists and we stick to the 3 cities in total. So I'm going to start cranking out settlers because there's going to be a lot of free land when you start in the modern age, in my experience. Let's hide our towns and kind of pull out all of our resources so we can talk about them. All right, so empire resources. We've got some rubber, we've got some marble, we've got a little bit of gold, silver, coal, all the really good stuff. So silk is better in our capital. Let's go ahead and park that silk in there. It's worth 6 culture. And pearls is better in our capital. It's worth 6 happiness. We'll park that in there too. And now don't forget that they're also worth culture and happiness too when they're parked in here. In Leeds, I do think it would be nice to plug in 2 copies of wine, as I think both of those will give the city first of all, a really nice boost to its food, but also a boost to its production. And then for these other resources, I'll just leave them unassigned. Tobacco is nice, but I am still getting some gold and happiness from it being unassigned, which is nice. All right, so choose a technology. I believe Britain actually quite likes to be doing some trading. Yes, Britain likes to have lots of resources. You've got the +3 production for every factory resource assigned. So we are definitely going to want to try to get to factories here, mass production pretty quick. So it might be good for us to go academies into electricity for the fast tech and then rush down to mass production. So I think that's what we'll go. We'll go academies into electricity. That feels like a very good opener. We are also going to want natural history because we do have the antiquarian. That's our unique unit. So we'll start with that. We're probably going to want to get some of those. Now, we have a few traditions here, and it looks like we have Greece and the Normans. I do like Xenia here. Being able to befriend city-states easier would be nice. Cheaper endeavors is also great. And then a little bit of culture and happiness would be quite nice. We'll take those. That's going to help us out. So those are not terrible traditions. We do have an army commander here with some levels in him. I'm going to take leadership and recruitment. He's going to be a sit inside a city kind of commander who will defend cities. So we'll go down the right side of the bastion tree here, as that gives combat strength when defending. It gives combat strength for units stationed on a district, and it gives HP to fortified districts in this city when stationed on the city center, as well as land units healing when attacking. And I'm going to give him the +1 command range because his job is to defend and protect this city. I'm going to go ahead and vomit out his units for the purpose of parking him on that city center. We have 2,000 gold in the bank, so I'm going to open up here with a scout up in Bristol. I'm just going to get a round of scouts in all of my towns, at least the ones that are on the sort of borderlands that I want to hit up. So I'll just quickly buy a few light scouts, and then I might save my money because we've got 8 out of 16 settlements. So we're going to want to park some settlements down on these islands over here, right? Like, these are pretty damn good. Coming into London, let's go ahead and buy ourselves a settler. We get to choose a government now. And I do think that elective republic is actually quite strong for Ada Lovelace because she does like culture and science. You can see here, there's lots of open land down here to the south. Perhaps I could buy myself another settler. We're going to be focusing heavily on settling in the very early game. We do have some city-states nearby that we could maybe look into befriending. All right, let's station you on the city. We're going to tell you to fortify. And this army commander exists to protect the city and all of its tiles. I send off some of my line infantry to go park on some of the tiles that we want to settle. Oh, I forgot that the map gets revealed. I still do have a use for these scouts by sending them to the other continent. So we'll send them over there and we shall continue. Right, so my first settler is out. Where's the highest value city? I think it's right here. It grabs 2 fish, a pearls, an ivory, and a silk. Now, if I move it 1 tile to the left, this city here becomes better because there's less overlap between the two. And it still captures all the resources without crowding out this city quite so much. And then if I move it down a tile, it's similar, but for less crowding on this city over here. So I'm going to go and see if I can make it to that tile right there. How much to purchase? Okay, I can't quite afford a settler just yet. I need 760 gold. A lot of my gold is going to be going towards getting these settlers up. In particular, we want things like this gold inside our borders. So I think I'm going to settle right there. This will be 1 city. 1, 2, 3, which means this will be the city for the gold right there. Now I do see that Uluru, but I don't think I can afford to straight up forward that. All right, let's purchase ourselves more settlers. We want to get these cities out. We do scale pretty heavily off the number of settlements we have in our current build. And really, we are really just focused so hard on getting those settlers out. I think this is the best tile for this city, so we'll head there. Okay, this settler's in position. Let's park it. There's Portsmouth. We'll grab that wine. We'll keep building settlers. Now our gold needs to be going towards developing these towns because there's a lot of cheap infrastructure that will help them out, like a granary, for example, in here. You go grab this tile right there. Okay, I've claimed this island and I've claimed this island. Do I want to claim this one? There's a couple of nice spots right here. I think I'll settle right here. That grabs all 3 of those resources so that we don't have to settle this. Fish are an incredible resource to get a hold of, so I'm thinking of settling. Yeah, I'll settle right here. Perfect. Keep them all moving. Okay, Portsmouth, we can afford more buildings for you. Let's get a brickyard and a saw pit for you. Awesome. That'll help you develop. We could support this endeavor. I'm just going to accept it to get the +6 influence per turn because I think that suits me better. And in this particular instance, I believe culture is more valuable to us in the meantime. I'll take Familia Regis because that's worth 8 culture per turn. It's not a huge amount, but it's a decent amount. Let's settle this settler right here. There's Nottingham. Nottingham doesn't have a whole lot of room, so we are going to want to be careful about how we develop it. And we're going to want to focus on these nice growth tiles. So let's start with a fishing key. Keep getting this growth. We're definitely going to want the grocer in here, but those other buildings not so much. Bradford has grown, and I think our big focus right now is to keep getting food in these towns. In terms of Bradford's tiles, I wish that this told me how much I would get from it. An early hub town is really valuable, but hub towns are better on the coast. Most towns are better on the coast. This could be an okay factory town, so I'll just leave it growing for now. Portsmouth, upon first glance, you know, as far as we can tell, it looks very industrial. So some sort of industrial town feels like the right choice. London has finished another settler. We're going to keep cranking out those settlers. This settler's in position. Let's park it. And you will grow to the fish slowly. Let's make sure we get you your fishing key. Then we should be able to grow you to the pearls first. Okay. We're settling a lot of fishing towns. But that's good because they're going to feed our coastal cities. I don't actually know how many settlers I have on the go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have room for 2 more. So these are going to be my last 2 settlers. Good to know. Let's park you right there. Then let's get this new settler out to these resources if we can. Okay, you've grown. Excellent. Now we've got a ton of resources to play around with, but nothing we can do too much at the moment. How are we looking stats-wise? We're definitely behind, but I think the size of our empire gives us a huge amount of potential. But now we're going to want to get our antiquarians if we can. And our museums. Land heritage ain't bad. Yeah, but if we can get our antiquarians going nice and early, that'd be nice. We also have the schoolhouse and the Oxford University. The question is, where's our next city going? You know what? Manchester's not a bad place for a city. So I'm just going to convert Manchester to a city. That's my 3rd city. Those are the 3 that we're going for. And we'll continue growing our towns, focusing on getting food and resources in them. Let's go straight for electricity so we can pump science. I think it would be good for us to go for Pax Britannia if we could build the Royal Exchange, the manufactory, and the Battersea Power Station. That'd be quite nice. But I think I'm going to go for the Mastery of Natural History so we can start getting that stacking science bonus, because when we finish a Civic Mastery as Ada Lovelace, all 3 of our cities will gain 6 science per turn, which is a really nice upgrade. Okay, Manchester, you need to get your brickyard and your saw pit up. This is a really good science adjacency tile, as is this. So we don't want to put them on either of these 2 tiles, which leaves this tile right there. Get your saw pit and your brickyard. Spend a couple of turns getting that production return. Hull is ready for orders. I see a lot of woodcutters and farms and plantations. It's not a bad farming town. I'm going to talk to Apia. I'm going to befriend Apia. I think they're in a pretty reasonable position. I don't know if I want to specialize my towns just yet. It is something I want to do, but I think it's a little bit early into the age. I'll settle this settler right here. And you have grown. Excellent. Let's grow towards these fish resources. The fish resources are going to be incredible, so we want to get as many of them stacked up because each one's going to be a 5% growth rate boost in our entire empire when we get them stacked into a factory, and that's going to be awesome. I've got 500 gold in the bank. We could start looking to trade with, for example, Tecumseh. Now, we haven't quite unlocked traders yet, so maybe we could use our gold on something else, like developing our towns, or maybe helpfully developing our cities. How much to buy an antiquarian? 1,000. We might have to save up for those. We definitely should develop our new towns because they will pay dividends. Stoke-upon-Trent is in pretty good shape. This is definitely a fishing town. So let's go for +3 food on farms and stuff like that. And now it'll start sending its food to London. And that will help London grow even faster. And London is growing quite slowly at the moment, but that will speed up in time. Portsmouth is going to grab that gold. That's going to multiply the value of the gold in my empire. So now it's even cheaper to purchase buildings, which is great. I'm going to start building antiquarians in London. I do think that our antiquarians give us an extra 5 culture for every tile from your capital when you excavate an artifact. That's actually really powerful. So getting a few of these early The earlier into the age, the better if we can just excavate a few artifacts throughout the age. Now, I did get another settler. I have a settler on the way to this island, and there's a settler coming out of Leeds. So this is my last 3 settlers for the age. Where do I want to send them? Do I see a gold resource somewhere? Oh, here's one. That's another 20% boost. I could settle, let me see, where can I get? I could get truffles, tobacco, and gold if I settled right here. Gold is very valuable. Alternatively, I could get 2 more fish and a citrus if I settled right here. I'm going to go for the gold. Now, where are you going? I think that's a reasonable spot. All right, we got some coal. Awesome. It's going to make producing rail stations even better. Manchester has finished its queue. Antiquarians would take 10 turns. That's a long time in this city. It doesn't have the greatest production. I'm going to get started on some antiquarians though, because I feel like I need them. And I'm going to do the same in Leeds. And I'll use my gold to continue to develop these newly settled towns that I have, like Nottingham. I can't afford the grocer in here, and it wouldn't really even scale that well. Let's have a look at Stoke-upon-Trent. We could go for the grist mill, the sawmill. I mean, these would eventually repay themselves, but more so the grist mill. I think the extra growth would be fantastic. Though I might just save the money because, I don't have infinite money and I'm not going to scale. Like this game ends in one era, you know what I mean? Maybe I should save my money to develop my cities a bit more. It's a bit of a challenge. I definitely want this tile though, because it has 3 factory resources, 2 of which are fish, and fish are incredible for the growth when you eventually get there. Okay, Bristol has expanded. I do love gold. I'm going to focus on getting production in some of these towns. Growth is incredible, but you need some production. Manchester City is Wales and Ivory. Honestly, those are fine. So Bristol, you're definitely a fishing town, which means a grocer in here is actually great. We'll set you to fishing. You'll slowly grow. Would you grow faster on growing town? You would, but fishing town is pretty much the same. All right, let's park you right here. Brighton, grab that. We're going to grab you a fishing key and a grocer would be ideal. Okay, we're up to 14 towns now. 14 settlements, so we're going to scale pretty nicely off that. Now remember, we picked a bunch of abilities that scale off towns, right? Culture, happiness, gold, and science for every settlement. So that's this number times 3 in culture, happiness, and gold, and happiness. Culture, science, happiness, and gold, which is not bad, right? That's why we go for those early settlers, so we can benefit from them for as long as possible. More land is always more betterer. Natural history has been finished. That's going to get us the plus, this is a mastery, so it's going to get us +6 science in every city that we have. So now our antiquarians will be able to excavate more resources. Oldham, let's grow to these fish tiles again, incredible. Grab those elephants. Now we could start working our way towards political theory. There's a lot of value in going to political theory. We could also go for Great Britain. There's a lot of value in going down this tree here. I'm going to go for modernization so we can maybe try to get the Hermitage. Quite strong. Okay, Bradford. Yeah, keep growing to these production tiles. If we pop into Bradford, it wants buildings. Nothing else I can do in there. You just keep churning away on production. We're going to settle this settler right here. There's 15 of 16 cities. We'll grow to the Wales. Make sure we buy the fishing key so the city grows slightly better than we want the grocer. What are we looking at here? I think we're just saving money because we're inserting it into our towns. I think I'm going to insert it into my cities first. I think they need it the most. I'm kind of lightest on production in these places. Let's grow to the fish again. We got to choose a celebration. I'm going to go for culture again. I think the culture is huge, and I will go for land heritage for happiness and culture on natural wonders and mountains. Yeah, I know I'm trailing in technology. It's all part of the plan. So let's befriend this cultural city-state. They are friendly, so they will become friends pretty quick. And my scouts have arrived on the other continent. It's kind of exciting. Let's settle you, and we want to pretty much immediately grow to that gold to the point where I'll just buy you a granary so we can grow to it right away. So my antiquarians just got a lot more expensive. Each one that you build makes them a lot more expensive. I think getting 3 up feels like a good amount. I'm also going to want to get my museums out and my city parks, but also my schoolhouses. I do think early game culture helps you scale a lot. So a museum right here. That's a +7 museum. It's pretty good. It's right beside some mountains. I'll buy that. I could also buy the city park. Now the city park does give +1 happiness in vegetation and +4 happiness in general. Do I need this? Not necessarily. An antiquarian would take 13 turns. Do I want 4 antiquarians? 4 maybe feels like a lot, but I'm going to go for it. Portsmouth has grown. Let's grab the coal. Let's go see if we can extract an artifact. Where do we see one? I see one right here. Let's go grab it. And we'll settle our final city, Blackburn. We'll grab that as well. All right, excellent. We're looking really good. The age definitely plays very differently. And it feels very nice when you're playing from this point, right? Where you start as a civ rather than, transitioning. Okay, the River Great Ouse has flooded. Nottingham has grown. We shall continue to grow. Now, I do want to get you a grocer because I want... Well, first of all, I'm going to buy a grocer on the city centre tile because I want to turn you into a fishing town. Now, you're going to grow in 4 turns. If I turn you into a fishing town, you're going to grow in 5, but you're doubling your food and sending it to London, which is fantastic. Now, London is growing much faster, which is going to be really helpful in the long run. The settlement is unrest. What? Oh, it had a damaged building, so the game thought it was in unrest. Okay, got it. This is a weird little visual bug. We'll grab the cow lin. It's a factory resource, which means it's worth 3 gold and 3 happiness per turn because we can't slot it in anywhere just yet. This town is ready to grow. Newcastle. We want to get you your fishing key, and ideally, we also want to get you your grocer. I'm going to focus on getting my grocers and stuff up. Surprised that Leeds is not connected to my food network. Interesting. I'm over my settlement cap. I don't know how that happened. It's only 5 happiness per city, which should be very manageable for me at this point. So going 1 over the cap isn't the end of the world. Okay, excellent. Let's grow to this tile. Oh, very, very aggressive settlement here from them. Says the guy who aggressively settled the world. We'll grab this fish as well. Plenty of resources parked around. You're ready for a specialization, weirdly enough. I don't think we necessarily care about that just yet at the moment. The River Thames has flooded and Brighton is ready for growth. We'll grow to that fishing tile. We can get our grocer now. Slowly, you're becoming a great fishing town. You can see the other players are now started to get into the settling game. So I do think it was good that we got a kickstart there. Let's see, this guy's getting in position. That was a good citrus. We'll grab that citrus. Excellent. A lot of our turns are going to be just chilling while we get our antiquarians up because getting them early is a thing. I do think that living standards is a great building. We can now get our science up. Awesome. I'm going to drop land heritage for now. I'm going to bring in living standards. That's going to give us a huge gold and happiness maintenance boost. Let's have a look at Manchester. We could start building specialist tiles, but I think the thing that we care more about right now is production. So growing to those production tiles is more important to me. Sheffield does not have its grocer yet, but we'll keep growing to our fishing tiles. I think that's the play. I don't think we need to get electricity too. Instead, we're going to start working our way towards mass production. I'll grab the steam engine so we can build the ironworks and the port. Now let's go for the social question. I think getting your ideology early in the modern age actually helps you a lot. I do think that fascism is currently the strongest ideology from a gameplay mechanics point of view. But I do want to try out democracy and go for more of a... I've never actually done the culture victory, so I want to try out the new culture. I want to try out doing a Ada Lovelace culture victory. Kind of an interesting direction to go. Okay, Hermitage has been built by Lafayette. Brighton is ready to grow. We'll grab that tile. I love how often we're growing. Now, you need 148 food to grow. If I press this button, you will need... that should have updated. You need 222 to grow. So it's going to be a little bit longer in here to grow, but now you should be sending your food. Why aren't you connected? I'm going to wait a turn and see if it connects to the network. If it doesn't, I'll turn it back to normal, to just growing town. We found a natural wonder, the Dengji. This is, whose empire is this? I think this is Confucius's empire of the Qing. So I'm going to go ahead and ask him for open borders so I can explore his lands. Might be useful. And let's dig up our first artifact. Yeah, look, see, they're starting to settle now. They just settled a bunch of cities. They've even got their first explorers out. So it is important to get them. 5 horticulture from Denpasir. Thank you very much, Denpasir. London has grown. I do think palace specialists are highly valuable, but there is a production tile right here, and that's even more valuable as far as I'm concerned. Oldham has grown. Let's keep growing to these food tiles. Newcastle has grown. Keep on growing to those food tiles. I would love a grocer in Newcastle. Brighton, are you sending your food? You're not sending your food. I'm going to put you into a growing town until we can figure out how to connect you. All right, Napoleon's asking for a local festival. I'm going to take the diplomatic influence again. I could choose my city-state bonus. So we've got an entrepot at 5 gold and +1 gold on every navigable river tile. Must be placed in a navigable river not adjacent to another entrepot. So I could, well, no, I don't really have any navigable river. So the entrepot isn't very good. I think it's too limited. Perhaps it should be on every river tile. Scaling gold is pretty good. Nickel is pretty good. Branch office is incredible. Shipping lanes is incredible. I think this, like if you can get both of these, you're in an incredible position. I'm going to go for the 5% gold. I think that scale is just a little bit better than the base gold. If I could find another economic city-state, I would absolutely take the 5% gold boost though, or the 1 gold per building. Unfortunately, I don't see that, but I can't afford to befriend the Maori over here. Okay, Leeds. You got yourself an antiquarian as well. Let's get researching. I think 4 archaeologists will do the job for us early enough. Definitely I would love to build a science tile. I mean, 1 turn for 1 production feels good. I'll put it right there. Oldham is ready for a specialization. I'm going to give you the grocer because that's going to allow you to scale better. I'll turn you into a fishing town. You're not connected to my network either, annoyingly. We'll have to figure out why that is. It's not sending its food where it should. Manchester's going to need gold help. It's stuck producing this antiquarian for a very long time. So I'm going to get it a grocer on the City Hall tile. That should help it grow a little bit. Bradford, I keep growing these nice tiles. Coming into Liverpool, you're freshly settled. Love it. Go grab that silk for me. Blackburn. Grow to those fish tiles. We need those as soon as we can. So Leeds finished. Let's get the grocer. Growth will have a big return on investment. Bradford doesn't need the brickyard and saw pit. Does it? You do have woodcutters. Why is I think the display on this is wrong. If I build the saw pit, right? It says 28. Yeah, it was actually, okay, so the numbers are wrong. So they are worth building. Got it. All right, exploration is going well. We're getting good visuals. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of explorers out there, so it's good to get your explorers nice and early, as far as I can tell. Now, I actually have never done a cultural victory in Civilization 7. This is my first time even attempting, like really going for it. I just saw it and it looked really fiddly and annoying, and I basically ignored it on all my other playthroughs. So this is my first real attempt at it. Okay, Portsmouth. I think it would be good if we got you more food. We'll keep getting you food. That's excellent. Coming into Plymouth, mixture of food and production and resources is excellent. We're going to keep getting culture until we have our ideologies. Production towards overbuilding is excellent. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. That's going to allow us to develop our cities quite a bit. Yeah, let's build the stonecutter and the grocer in here eventually. We're not really taking a systematic approach to our cities. We're kind of vibing it out. I've never really done this, right? So I'm vibing things out and seeing how they feel. My gold per turn is looking like really healthy. I'm feeling like I'm in an okay position. But again, I'm not familiar with the gameplay patterns of this age. So culture from specialists and science from specialists, we're not really interested in that just as it stands. It's not super important. We get to choose a civic here. Political theory will allow us to maintain specialists easier. We get social policy slots, ideology trees. We want those ideology trees pretty much immediately, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to buy a schoolhouse in Manchester. There's a +2 one right here, so I'll get you. And then I'll look to buy a laboratory as well. And then I'm going to start parking specialists on this tile. Well, no, it needs production first. Let's excavate this artifact. That's excellent. My little scouts, just getting me a little bit of intel about the universe. We've got a narrative choice here. We got an artifact. Ooh, exciting. I'm going to go excavate one from the redwood forest. Hull is ready to grow. We'll keep growing to food. Food is good. Oldham has grown. Let's start grabbing these resources now that the city's fairly big. You've got all your resources, so keep growing to the fishing tiles. Yeah, all these spare resources are going to bring in money. Hull, you should definitely get a brickyard. Oldham. A lot of cheap buildings we could build here that have a lot of value. So let's grab that, grab that, grab that. We'll just kind of develop you. You don't have so much room, so I don't want to spend money on your buildings quite as willy-nilly. Nelly Welly. All right, 6. So there's ironworks. Ironworks are fantastic. We've got the port. We've got merchants. Merchants are the big thing that we want right now. So I'm going to be coming in here and I'm going to be buying merchants pretty regularly in the capital and looking to get a really robust trade network with, let me see. Napoleon honestly seems like the most chill right now. And we have a good relationship with him, so it might be worth it for us to continue to develop that. Let's get a second cultural city-state that might help us with our victory condition, and then we're going to keep growing this town. Newcastle is ready to turn into a fishing town. Are you connected to the network? You are not connected to the network. So weird. Might be something to do with ports. As Ada Lovelace, we definitely want to get our mastery text because it helps with our culture, and then, that vice versa. So really quite good to get our masteries. Plus, this helps our empire scale, right? Food on farms and plantations, +1 production on camps. It's not a huge amount of scaling, but it does help. It is some scaling. Blackburn, you have plenty of space, so we can actually buy all the buildings. So granary, brickyard, pit, stonecutter, ironworks, port. You will have new growth available. Let's do the growing thing. So we can get the open air museum. It provides science for each adjacent tropical tile, culture for each adjacent tundra tile, and gold for each adjacent desert tile. You can get 1 per settlement. That's not bad. Getting an artifact is pretty good. Getting extra culture for every city-state we're suzerain of is also pretty good. Considering we're suzerain of 2 right now, that's 2 culture per building. Somehow we unlocked the Shawnee in the upcoming age. I don't know how to explain that to you. All right, let's trade with St. Petersburg. Awesome. That gets us more resources. Oh, Leeds took some damage. So it says the settlement's unrest, but it's not really. It just needs some repairs. We'll get those repairs up. Yeah, we definitely want to build the ironworks. So I'm trying to see, where's our low value tiles? This is a pretty low value tile right here, so I'll park that, but I will take a production boost. Okay, dig me up an artifact, please. Awesome, there's another artifact. So we're up to 2 artifacts. That's building up our culture game. We're now making 8 culture plus 10 on the capital. So we're making a decent amount of culture from that. Sheffield has grown. Let's start picking up these resources. Those are going to be useful. Coming into Manchester, I'm going to purchase an ironworks to help the city out. I'll put it right there. The city could use the production. It's been struggling a bit. Are you connected to the network? You're a fishing town, right? Somehow you're not connected to the network. Very confusing. Very disturbing. All right, let's excavate an artifact from there. Brighton is ready to grow. Let's grow again. You're still out of the network. I think I need to get ports or something. Might be it. It's an expensive endeavor, but it will be something we figure out in time. All right, there's steam engines, so a nice boost of science. Production on science buildings, but 9 golden towns, or golden towns, but production on science buildings. I'll take that golden towns because we have so many of them. A small production loss on science buildings isn't the end of the world. I am going to go for mastery of electricity because we're playing Ada Lovelace. I forgot about that when I was making that decision earlier. It is still very valuable to do. I'm going to buy ourselves the ironworks in London. That'll help our productivity a little bit. I think it would be great if we built a port. This would allow us to stick more resources into the city. We also need to get our laboratory and schoolhouse. We definitely need those. I also need my grocer, although that's less important in my cities. So where do I see our science tiles? I could build the Oxford University here. The wildcard attribute point would be incredible. I don't know if I'm going to be able to build it though. I'll go for the Oxford just for the sake of it. It potentially is really good. There's not really any production tiles left in the capital. Most of the buildings we have are ageless, with the exception of this one that has +2 adjacency, which is not bad to start building specialists on. We're up to 700 gold per turn, which feels pretty good. We got another antiquarian, so let's go exploring on the other continent now to see if we can find something to dig up. Excellent. Manchester has grown. I don't have good adjacency tiles just yet. I could start building up a science vortex. I think I would rather work the land in the city as it currently stands. The land is really valuable. Leeds as well, we don't have good science. We don't have good vortex tiles, so there's no point building a specialist stack while we still have really good tiles to actually work on a rural sense. Portsmouth, grab those horses. Those are excellent. Liverpool, grow towards the silk. Blackburn, let's keep grabbing all your resource tiles. Awesome. Yeah, look at all these spare resources we have now. The great thing about these, each of these spare resources will give us 3 gold and 3 happiness. That's why we want to get as many as we can. Specialization in Portsmouth. I think we'll hold off for now. There's political theory. So we've unlocked our ideology trees. We get our narrative choice as an artifact. So we need hegemony civic. Don't know if you're going to be able to get over there to excavate that in time, but we'll give it a shot. Keep on growing, good sir. Newcastle, you need a port to connect, I'm pretty sure. Manchester, I'm going to buy your laboratory, +8 right there. Now that's a good science vortex tile. It's got at least +2 adjacency. It's kind of what I consider to be the minimum. I think I do want to go democracy here, even though I do think that fascism is better. Production and gold from specialists is just so overpowered, but I'm going to do democracy just to play differently, right? Because we're exploring. It's fine. We definitely need more science. So what are we looking at in terms of, yeah, it looks like we don't have good adjacency tiles. No more than a +1. We could build the Doi Suthep here. If we put it here, we would get a +3 culture tile. It gives influence and gold for every city-state you're serious enough. You know what? I'm going to try to build it. If it doesn't work, it's fine. But yeah, you can see how the AI very quickly gobbled up the remaining islands after I was done. That's why you got to be quick. Take the culture from you. I should have the influence to befriend another city-state. The problem is that they're all the kind of city-states that I don't necessarily want to befriend. I don't know if I need to have all the culture. I mean, I guess I can deal with another scientific one. That sounds good. I want to get at least maybe two. If I could get 3 scientifics, that might be really good. Coming into London, we do have this nice adjacency here. That's a good tile. All right, so we got a free policy here, so I can make it cheaper to maintain specialists, or I can get more from them. I'm going to go for getting more from them. Their maintenance right now isn't that big of a deal. I think Familia Regis could be dropped in exchange for making it easier to maintain them, but we should now see a little bit more science, a little bit more culture from specialists. All right, sick. There's another artifact. Can you nip over here and excavate this? I don't think it makes sense to send 2 of you guys in the same direction. You go grab this artifact. Brighton. Grab the whales, please. We got to choose a celebration. Now we don't need the culture. Now we want the science. We're going to start pumping science in here. I'll take natural heritage. Amazing. So many resources left to assign. Weirdly, I think some of these are better off unassigned, but I'm going to assign resources anyway, just because I think it's good to have resources assigned to your cities. We do scale nicely off of that, if I remember correctly. I actually scale really well off of resources assigned to my cities because of these traits. All right, final farm in here, looking good. I'll take the 6 influence per turn. Thank you. Specialization is available. I've got plenty of gold in the bank. Do I want to continue to develop my towns? I think what I will do is I'm going to purchase a port in the capital. That'll make my city happier. And then I'll put a silk in there with pearls to keep that city nice and happy. So there's Battersea Power Station, gold on gold buildings, science and science buildings. That should have got us a nice boost. So culture and laboratories or golden opera houses. I'm going to take the culture on the laboratories, or a civ that scales. We scale really nicely off culture and science. So the more culture and science we can get, the better we scale, because we scale up. Like, the more culture and science, the more culture we get, the more science we get. The more science we get, the more culture we get. So we want to get both. Confucius is going to denounce us. That's fine. So we could go for the department store. It is a lot of base happiness. The opera house would be great for influence, which would allow us to focus on trade. And then there's a certain similar argument to then go for the radio station. Like, we could go heavily up this direction. I do like going for that influence, being able to befriend and do diplomacy. I think, you know what, let's try that out. Let's see how the cookie crumbles if that's the direction we go. All right, coming into London, stock exchange, laboratory, schoolhouse. We don't really want to build or buy anything just yet in here. All right, I'm curious about Brighton here. If I buy a port now, can you connect to London? No. Okay, let's try buying a merchant. See if we can use that to connect up you to the empire, because it's just weird that you're not connected. Improve our trade relations with Napoleon. We want him to like us. I did not disperse an independent power that was being befriended. You are lying. I don't know why he thinks I did that. All right, awesome. We found the Grand Canyon. That's another artifact. Okay, we've got Oldham. All right, Stoke-upon-Trent. How are we going to develop you? Well, we definitely want our grocer, so I'll put that into the city center. Then we'll come back in here and we'll kind of think about what we want to do. We'll grab that extra copy of fish. You could use a stone cutter. I want to focus my trades on a single player. He's got a couple more cities we can trade with. The reason being is that if we can manage to keep him happy and friendly, it means he won't declare war on us, destroying our trade routes, and then we can focus any military stuff on other players. We did not make it to this tile in time to dig up another artifact. Unlucky. Okay, so I don't see any artifacts to dig up. Let's zip in over here to the Grand Canyon, see if we can excavate something. We didn't make it to here in time. That's okay. We might be able to make it down to this one. I can kind of see why people would want to have an auto-explore button. I've kind of gotten tired of exploring manually in this game so far. Okay, Newcastle. So you're going to want a grocer. Are you part of the network? Fishing Town. Let me see. Yes, you're now sending food to Manchester and Leeds. That's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted from you. You're sharing your food. Let me check Brighton, actually. I forgot to check this properly. You are a fishing town, but you are not making, your food is not getting to the other cities. That's unfortunate. So you're going to go back to just being a growing town. Nottingham. Your food is making it to London. That's excellent. Oldham. Turn you into a fishing town. It doesn't look like your food's making it, sadly. So we're just going to keep you on a growing town. All right, awesome. So we have democracy now. I am going to drop Delian League and Stratajoy, so that we can get culture from specialists and happiness from specialists. I think that's going to be quite strong. It'll cost us a little bit of gold per turn in our cities, but that's fine. Have 5 radio stations within 20 turns. Holy shice. Well, we can give that a go. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. We literally don't have 5 cities. That's stupid. That should be 3. So we can go for liberalism. -5 science and cities. Liberalism will be quite... The free press would be quite strong for our culture gain. So I'm going to go for liberalism here, because free press, we have a lot of towns and a lot of cultural attributes. So that means we would benefit a lot from that. I've got a diplomatic attribute. I could go for longer celebrations, and I think I will, so that our celebration scaling is really nice. Wonder construction is awesome too. I think I would like to just get the 15% or 5% extra culture in total. I think that will end up putting us into a better position. We got a bunch of free infantry units that we can spread around our empire for defense. Excellent. Now, Napoleon doesn't like that our borders are touching, but hey, what are you gonna do? 500 science, you're ready to grow. Keep growing to food. We love food. Manchester finished its antiquarian. Go dig up that artifact there if you can. In the meantime, it would be good for us to get like some more museums and stuff, but I want to build a port here so I can get the museum on this nice adjacency tile. So let me get that port first. Portsmouth could build a grocer and an ironworks, and I tell you what, we will do both. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I mean, it feels the modern age feels it feels different when you're playing it like this. I really do think so. I want to get the look at that culture and science vortex right there. That's beautiful. It definitely feels a lot slower than when you go up through the ages. Now I'm curious, 4 out of 4 artifacts of all ages. So Atlantis, yes, okay, so there's artifacts, we're digging them up. All right, sick, we got Oxford University and Doi Suthep. That's going to get us urbanization pretty much instantly, as well as military science and combustion. Holy bajil blue. Very nice. Grab that silk, choose a technology. I definitely want the influence from going to radio. I think being able to play the diplomacy game could be quite good for me here. So let's go for that. London. I want my opera house right there. That's going to be 12 culture. It'll get even stronger over time. I'm happy to claim artifacts at a cost of some culture. Thank you for that. We should be close to our first cultural milestone here. Exciting. Ugh, some repairs are required in this city. Now, we can get an excellent opera house museum combo on this tile. That's a +8. That's a +3 adjacency. So, opera house plus museum. Build the museum first because it has a diplomatic influence on it. I could buy a military academy. Again, this is the sort of thing where we just don't have a whole lot of really good adjacency. Oh, I could build that Battersea power station. Might be better to build that in London though. If I built it here, this would become a +3 science tile or a +3 production tile. If I built it here, yeah, you know what? Let's go for it. We'll use our gold to build buildings in our capitals while we build wonders. Gadoosh. I'll buy the military academy there so we can start putting specialists on it for a little bit of extra production. +1 production per specialist, which isn't a huge amount, but it is something. A lot of my cities are starting to demand, I forget what the word is, the thing that they specialization, that's the word. A lot of my towns are requesting specializations. Another flood. Anything damaged? Not that I can see. Okay, Brighton, you are growing. Mostly because I can't get you hooked up to my network somehow. Okay, perfect. Blackburn is feeding Manchester and Leeds now, so that's exactly what I was hoping for. Go ahead and dig up an artifact from the Grand Canyon for me, please, good sir. I have another antiquarian kind of in position to do the same. Let's have a look here in London. Yeah, I'm starting to build a specialist vortex here, mainly because it has a little bit of production adjacency on it, which is not so bad. Birmingham. Oh my, oh my, oh my, you're ready to grow. Well, let's keep focusing on growth. The faster you grow, the better. Let's see, how fast are you growing? You are growing in 23 turns. If I buy you a grocer, boom, that is now 14 turns. That's nice. That shaves a good few turns off that. Once the growth tiles are taken, we grab the production tiles. I know it's not optimal, but it's the way I like to play. I think as long as you accept that as long as you acknowledge that the way that you are playing is not optimal and that you're playing by vibes, totally no one cares. I'm not trying to justify. I'm not telling you that the way I play is perfect. It's the perfect way to play. I'm just saying it's the way that's fun for me. The city's going to have so much happiness. It's going to be great. I should actually buy another few merchants. I have a wild card point. I could spend it on culture. The 15% production towards buildings would be really great for my cities. It's so much potential production there. All right, narrative choice. I got an artifact over here. Awesome. My culture per turn. I'm looking okay. It looks like there's been a war declared on me. Confucius is upset with me. Now, I do have the money. I should have the money to defend myself, although Lafayette declaring war on me is a little bit annoying as well. So let's kind of take stock of the military situation. It's unlikely that they're going to invade me from the east. It's far more likely that they're going to invade me from the west. So the best thing to do would be to build up places like Sheffield with artillery, naval units, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to get started in Sheffield. I'm going to purchase myself a fleet commander and a revenge. Next turn I'll buy the revenge. Army commander, you are staying in place. Trader, let's chat with Napoleon. I'm going to improve the trade relations with him. I'm trying to keep him as sweet as I can. And by trading with Nikolaev, and we do have 2 other cities that we can trade with, which we will eventually do. The idea is every trade route we have with one particular player, the stronger our relations are and the less likely that they are to betray us. Now, what's his agenda again? He likes civilizations with the smallest number of land units. Well. But dislikes people with lots of naval units. So basically, he hates Britain. He hates the UK who we're playing as. Well, jolly gee willikers, that's gonna be bad for us. See if we can get down to that artifact down there to the southwest. We might be able to scoop it up before anyone else can. Yeah, our money is going to be used primarily in the defensive. Oh, wow. Now, that is really surprising. Pachacuti declaring war. See, 5% science for every city-state you're suzerain of is really good. Free technology is incredible. So there's urbanization. I can't afford certain defensive stuffs, but I can buy field cannons in here to shoot and blast, and eventually I'll buy like army commanders to protect these cities too. I'll buy an army commander here in Newcastle to be sent to defend Old. We've got a fleet commander in Sheffield protecting things. Let's continue to get liberalism. All right, this antiquarian is going to dig me up an artifact as well. Pretty much everyone declared war on me. Opposed ideology, leader agenda, shared government, started a trade route, declared war. I think Lafayette, the AI just loves war in this age. All right, we'll primarily be using our gold to defend our empire and using our production because we just don't have very good military production. And we also have the ability to recruit units from our city-states. And our city-states should actually do a really good job of keeping us safe, or at the very least being really, really, really annoying, thanks to the number of units that they can field. Let's keep getting that nice science tile going. Coming into Portsmouth, let's keep growing. We've got a celebration. I'm going to go for more science. 15 turns of 20% extra science is incredible. Now, we could go for the 20% extra culture. I do love culture, actually. You know what? Let's go for that 20% extra culture for 15 turns. I'm also going to plug in the Familia Regis. Battersea Power Station was finished. Now, the important thing to note about that is we get 2 naval units every time we train one. Sorry, it's not finished. It's 3 turns away. Manchester finished. We definitely want our military academy. Minimum of +2 adjacency. There's a +2 adjacency right there. Let's get that military academy down. Sheffield. I can't afford a boat. Buy a mortar to protect the city as well against ships. A couple of field cannons, a couple of mortars. That'll do the job. My scout was murdered in cold blood. And we have liberalism now. I'm going to plug in... let's see. I'll drop Familia Regis again so that we can take free press. It's going to give us an insane amount of culture. 600 culture now. It's excellent. We got an artifact. Awesome. Surprised. They need to be displayed. We have a ton of artifacts, but they're not being displayed. I see. What are you building? A military academy? Yeah, I see. Repair that plantation. I think the settlement is an unrest trigger is kind of bugged out here. I don't think we necessarily need to go for progressivism. It's not bad. I think it would be good to start working on our cultural civic, so I'm going to grab Pax Britannia here. Unfortunately, we're a little bit of a ways away from factories, but we will get there. All right, more silk in the capital. Okay, but fortifying this town, I'm going to bring a army commander up there. Sheffield. I'm going to save money for this turn to see what we can do in the next one. I've got an antiquarian here. Supposedly, there's 2 artifacts in the green continent that have not been digged up. Oh, here we go. Dug up. Digged. Another one of my scouts was murdered in cold blood. That's fine. You're growing excellently. Good job, Brighton. Napoleon, I will take your cultural thingy. Can we get an alliance? I feel like we need that. I'm going to do a research collaboration with you. He accepted it. It wasn't that I wanted a research collaboration. I want to improve his relationship so he considers an alliance with me. I'm going to buy the Revenge unique unit, although I believe that this is not... I believe they haven't implemented the unique unit model for Great Britain yet, which sucks. You know, you're giving ammunition to people who are saying that the game is released unfinished. I feel like by doing that. Okay, I've got an army commander in Oldham who will be defending it. That's good. Battersea Power Station has been finished. Now, it is a bit of a question if building that will give us... If we buy a boat, do we get 2? You know, do you get doubles? I am going to go for the Eiffel Tower. Reason being, I want to have really high production in the capital. And so by boosting up this military academy tile, we set that up for the long term. I could go for flight, and aerodromes and squadron commanders would pretty much deal all of my enemy militaries. But I think industrialization, mass production, I think factories are really important for playing Great Britain. Like that's where we're going to go next. Plymouth is going to need a field cannon to defend it. So I'll buy that there. We've got some line infantry coming in. Coming into Leeds, definitely want the radio station if we could get it. There's a +9 right there. It's a lot of diplomatic influence. That gives you a lot of power on the military and diplomatic side of things. So more than happy to build those. Field cannon. Kill these gooses. Sheffield is well positioned at the moment. It's got a military commander. It's got a battleship. I'm not seeing any of my other cities really under threat at the moment. So I think we're able to hold with our current setup, which means gold can be stored and used for other endeavors. You didn't make it here in time to dig this up. That's unlucky. There's one over here. Maybe you can sneak on over and grab it. Narrative choice. There's the milestone. Awesome. Artifact. I think we just were able to display more now. Yeah, so let's put those in. Great. So now we're displaying 6. If we get another museum up, we'll be able to display more. I may want to make more cities. Perhaps Liverpool should be a city. We will consider our options. Bristol could be a good city. It's in a reasonable position to make a lot of money and maybe a little bit of culture. Liverpool is kind of cramped. Portsmouth is honestly not a terrible city. The problem is it just doesn't have a port. Bradford's in a bad position to become a city. It just doesn't have enough room. Stoke-upon-Trent has enough room to become a city. It's just not the greatest one ever. But I think I'm going to try to stick to 3 cities. I think I would prefer that right now. Okay, we've got access to the Royal Exchange, which scales off quarters and wonders. We've got production from factory resources, so we are going to want our factories pretty much ASAP. We're going to go for the mastery of the manufactory here. That's going to get our production up again. Let's make sure we avoid letting them inflict negative war weariness on us. Just can't let that happen for no reason. I haven't quite figured out what the strategy is with your excavators. Do you spread them all out? Do you send them all in the same direction? Like, that's definitely something I just don't have enough experience, because I haven't really done the cultural victory. It was my favorite victory in Civilization 6, and I think now it's probably my least favorite, because it's basically like cultural victory is like the religion victory in Civ 6. It's like, oh, spam this same unit and send it all around the world in this boring micro journey. And I'm like, I sleep, you know? All right, coming into London, where do we want to build our financial center? So let's see, quarters and wonders. It would do well here on this pavilion. The manufactory scales off of resources. So it's basically like a normal production building, which means I think here's like not bad. Here's better. All right, so we'll buy the Royal Exchange in here, and we'll build our unique quarter right there. We'll probably want to get ourselves some more merchants to start connecting up our empire, because this scales off the number of cities are connected to London. So like, how is Bradford not connected, bro? Like, the city hall is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 tiles away. It's like min distant settle. It's not connected? Come on. Let's start developing our production vortexes. We're going to need those production tiles when the time comes. Liverpool, you absolutely need a fishing key. You're going to need all sorts of basic stuff. We just can't afford it, though. We're so broke right now. Even though we're making woke amounts of money, we're just broke, which is a phrase I've heard people say and I don't fully understand it. All right, let's get our opera house for the influence in this city, and then we'll get our museum because we want the culture as well. We're up to 700 culture per turn, which is fantastic. Keep going for the woke production vortex. Excavate that artifact, please. We didn't make it here in time. That's fine. Okay, sick. We have access to the manufactory now. I'm going to come into my capital. I'm going to purchase the manufactory on the same tile as the Royal Exchange, getting our unique district. And so connecting cities is the name of the game. Let's keep getting our merchants, because this thing makes more money, I believe. +2 gold for every connected settlement. So connecting up your empire is valuable. Maybe not as valuable as it could be. Oh, look at that. Look at that rainbow assortment of yields. Production, gold, science, culture. All right, Society of Antiquaries will allow our unique duders to move faster. That's good. Oh shit, the East India Company is crazy good. Like, it's 3 gold per building in a settlement. Wait, was that accurate? In towns, okay. In a settlement, I was like, that's crazy. In towns, it's not quite as bonkers. It's still good. Okay, my cuirassier over here is being attacked. Let's get you over to Sheffield to keep that place safe. Portsmouth is a growing boy. All right, where's your military academy going? Am I building a wonder in here? What are we doing? You know what we want? We need to connect the city up a little bit to my empire, so I'm going to build like 5 merchants. Sounds good, and we'll use our gold then. This merchant wants to connect to Birmingham. So London is now connected to a whole bunch of towns on my continent, which should get us a decent amount of gold from this unique quarter. Birmingham, good sir, keep growing. Brighton, you're ready to grow as well. Birmingham doesn't have a specialization. It should probably get a specialization. Trying to think what's going to help me the most. You know what? Maybe a mining town. And then we'll build you an ironworks. There you go. All right, we've got a bad guy here. So let's blast him, level up our great general. We'll start with the bastion right side, because the goal is to keep this town safe, although maybe left side would be the play. Basically, I want to fortify this island. So having an army commander dedicated to making this island more fortified feels appropriate. All right, Hull, you're growing to these kind of weird tiles, but you know, we don't hate you for it. Definitely worth considering a grocer. We'll get you that. You're a good hub town. We'll need merchants in here to connect you up to our empire. All right, we're seeing an army commander from Lafayette come over to Sheffield. We need to inject some money in here to make the defense of the city a little bit stronger. Now, since Hull is a hub town, there's a lot of value in connecting Hull to my cities, because every time I connect it, it gets +2 influence per turn, which is really quite valuable. So that is going to be sort of on the cards for us. Proceedings is really weak by now. +1 movement to civilians is pretty good though. We have access to the rail station, which is a prerequisite for the factory. Looking forward to that. There's an artifact. Awesome. Let's go for mass production. It's time for us to get our factories, and then we'll backfill for some of these specializations, the masteries. I'm going straight to chartered companies. 3 gold on each building in towns is actually going to be disgustingly strong. Okay, so Nova Pangea has just spawned new artifacts. See if we can get over there in a reasonable amount of time to scoop them up. Thankfully, we do have a couple of antiquarians in the area. Damn it, we weren't fast enough to get over here, though. Maybe 4 antiquarians isn't quite enough. I might need more than that. We were building a production vortex. Now, Manchester is going to want its manufactory. There's a 13 production manufactory right there. Don't necessarily know if that's what we want to do. Where's the Royal Exchange going to go? No, here's fine. We'll get your other building in a moment. Okay, so we didn't make it over here in time. That's fine. Let's see if we can skedoodle down here. There's a lot of explorers around. I don't necessarily know if they fixed the explorer problem or they just made less of them on the map, which feels like a bit of a band-aid fix, but you know, I'm not going to look a gift patch in the mouth. Napoleon, why do you like me less? Opposing ideologies, you son of a gun. Lafayette, come on, give me this piece. I think Lafayette's going to be a friend of mine. Napoleon's going to be an enemy. A lot of opposed ideologies. Yeah, Lafayette's going to be my only friend this age. He's the only Democrat. He's the only Democrat in the village. I'll take that culture right there. That's awesome. Let's keep connecting up our empire. We like having those merchant connections. We're not being invaded right now, despite the fact that we're at war, which is fine by me because that just gives me time to build up overwhelming power. Let's keep pumping culture. That's what we're good at. All right, I've got the gold to come in here to Manchester, and I'm going to build a manufactory. That's going to be the +7 right there, which means more traders in Manchester will also be valuable as we connect up our empire for that overwhelming amount of gold per turn. Delicious isolation is working in my favor. Definitely the game feels a lot more balanced when you do this kind of thing. Excuse me, you can't just have that be what happens. You gotta give me a warning when my city's under attack. That's the one of those things in this game that drives me crazy. A city will just get conquered, like, and you won't even notice that it's happening. All right, let's get ourselves a few revenges. I'll get myself a fleet commander to support. Let's go for splendid isolation. +3 combat strength if we have positive gold at the start of a turn. London, can you produce me some revenges? We do have the Battersea, so that should double produce. Everyone's at war with me. All hell's breaking loose. Jesus. Okay, all hell is broken loose in the universe. This guy hates me. I need to reconcile with you. Napoleon's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna start producing ships as soon as it makes sense. Okay, at least Lafayette is chill. I won't be able to get Liverpool back ever. That's fine. He can have that. But I won't lose any more cities to him. Napoleon's sending me endeavors. So I think probably my best bet here is to focus on fighting Tecumseh. And that means pumping influence into his war in particular. And I think this also means trading with Lafayette above anyone else. I would prefer gold. I would think I like the influence on ports. That's actually really quite nice. I am surprised we did not get more money when we implemented that 3 gold per building in towns. I was expecting that to be like godlike amounts of gold, but I guess it just really wasn't that much. My poor city-states are getting taken out, man. That's okay. I'm chill with that. We will deal with them in due time. All right, I need to get a rail station in here. The unique quarter likes to be adjacent to these kind of buildings. So there's the rail station. We'll be able to get the factory next turn. I think this specialization is good. Shooting these soldaderas. Upgrade you to Arty so you have the extra range. Upgrade you. Thankfully, Napoleon is really vulnerable to naval units, so we should be able to, like, if we build a few rounds of revenges, we should be able to move down the coastline and obliterate him with our navy. My allies are dying, which sucks. All right, there's mass production. We have the cannery, we have the factory, and +1 settlement limit. That'll be nice when we start conquering fools. Yeah, we love the gold, we love the production. We love the science, we love the culture, and we love the happiness. Okay, I'm going to go for Mastery of Combustion for the +1 production on production buildings. We want that really badly. Brighton, I'm just going to buy you a granary, not that it matters. Nottingham, let's do a brickyard plus a saw pit. Make you a little bit of gold per turn. You're already fully built. You're basically fully built. We have a little bit of gold to play around with. I don't want to spend too much gold on developing my economy because what we really need is to develop our military capabilities using gold, as it's the best weapon we have. Let's make sure we're leveling up the units in here. Perfect. Okay. My city-states are getting conquered, but we'll just reconquer those. Let's get our factory. I do want the opera house and all this sort of... I want all these buildings. I want stats. Okay, we've queued up our 2 science buildings here. We'll buy the factory next turn. I got 2 revenges. in here to send. Leeds is ready for more buildings. Don't even have our rail station in here. Manufactory. We want one with at least 6 production on it. All right, manufactory right there. Then we'll go for the military academy right there. We'll build the rail station right here. And then when the rail station is done, we'll build the factory. So the city will be busy for a little while. Okay, splendid isolation. We get combat strength, 5% gold in towns. I don't think I can drop anything right now. Great Britain is fueled by inner strength for expansionist. I think I want the expansionist point so I can come down here, take +1 food per age and warehouse buildings. That's going to give me a ton of food to spread around my empire. Now, what was I coming in here to buy? I was coming in here to buy the factory on the military academy tile. That's +10 production. I'm not really looking to go to war. I'm chilling. +3 gold in all settlements, but -3 happiness on the schoolhouse. 3 gold in all settlements. Adds up real quick. Okay, faster army production, but they cost more. Science on great works. Capitalism is good for trade. Alliance. Naval unit production. Draft. I think I'm going to move towards militarism to be able to fight people. So we'll go for nationalism first. We can start thinking about how we want to go to war. Maybe we want to go for the democracy capstone here for the +5 combat strength for air units in our own territory and be able to take people out with air. All right, let's get that railway station. We have our factory up in our capital. Now, the most broken resource in the entire game that I am aware of is fish. So we're going to plug a whole bunch of fish in our capital because remember, every factory resource in a city is propagated to every city that's connected with a rail network, I believe. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fish times 5. It's a 40% growth modifier across my entire empire, which is absurd. The British love their fish, man. Yeah, more city-states are getting taken out, which upsets me. All right, Leeds, you have grown. We're building our manufactory here, so I guess I will start putting specialists on that tile. Bradford, you've grown. You're going to start producing migrants for me soon. So Bradford is 622 food to grow, right? If I buy the rail station in here, okay, and then I come in, are you still? Okay, so it's empire-wide factory resources. They don't necessarily have to be connected. Maybe? Lafayette, I really need you to be chill and be my friend. There's combustion, cavalry units are stronger, production on production buildings, production on oil rigs, awesome. We got an extra artifact. We've got our second milestone here. We do need to display more, which might mean we need to open up more cities, even though I was hoping to stick to 3. Let's get Industrialization 2. That's going to improve our infantry and our production output. Bradford, probably time I got you a specialization, honestly. You know what? You could be a hub town too. I think hub towns are surprisingly strong. Influence is a difficult resource to get a hold of. And my goal isn't necessarily to win, it's to explore, it's to have fun. Yeah, I'm going to keep putting on my specialist here. Are you still not connected to my network? God. Let's repair your shipyard. That should fix you being in unrest. Repair the stone cutter. Then I'm going to purchase you a rail station. I think the military academy was going there. So I'm going to put the rail station right here. That'll allow us to get a factory in there eventually. All right, there's an economic attribute point. 50% gold purchasing in all settlements is really good. Keep building this vortex because it's going to be useful for us. Trying to get all these artifacts. Send down our fleet of super heavies because Napoleon's going to declare war on us. You just know he is. He's waiting for the right moment. We'll be in position with our super heavies. All right, another little bit of resources from you. Thank you, good sir. And then you keep plonking those right down there. Yep, we're growing so fast now, and it feels amazing thanks to all the fish. So long and thanks for all the fish, bro. I am starting to see the AI getting aircraft. That's concerning and not very exciting. Lafayette is very chill with us. Let's give him a cultural exchange. We want to get that alliance up so he can join us in war. We've got a series of super heavy battleships on the way to the front, and we are extracting all these juicy artifacts like a good British museum antiquarian should. I don't see a reason to build the city park and the department stores. The city's already like so happy it doesn't need it. The extra resource being assigned to the settlement is actually pretty good. The influence from the radio station is nice. The gold from the stock exchange is really nice. Like if I were to park it right here, +1 gold on quarters, which helps the city's maintenance out quite a bit. The cannery I can see as well going forward for the 10% growth. So I think I'll buy a cannery up here as it's a scaling growth modifier. Ooh, I like the golden rail stations. That's going to help us out quite a bit. Now we're looking for production. We want to get as much production into our cities as possible. Production is just king. It's just always king. It's always the best thing to focus on. There's no situation where you just don't want more production. And the problem is it just makes fascism too overpowered. Okay, we will want their finest hour, but we're not looking for it just yet. Let's grab nationalism so we can go towards militarism, as we do plan to do a little bit of military. Although we're on that cultural path. I don't know how to display more great works. It's kind of an issue I'm running into right now. So a factory right here will help the city out. That should mean now the city's also able to slot in resources. And again, fish is king. All right, sick. There's Industrialization 2. That's going to boost up our nationalism. We are looking Scoochie Boochie Gucci. That's what I called your mom. Ooh, yes, we like this. Let's get mass production 2. It is food on food buildings and food on fishing boats and pastures, but it is a mastery tech, which Ada Lovelace loves. We definitely want the stock exchange. There's a lot of gold locked up in that, so I'll quickly buy it. I would love the opera house and the radio station. So the opera house for the culture and influence, because influence is influence helps you in war, basically. Radio stations help you in war again because of the influence. I see an 8-4 tile over here to the north, so that's where I'll put it. And then I want the department store for extra resource capacity. So these are going to be like the last few buildings we build, aside from things like the aerodrome. Okay, looking into Manchester, definitely could use a factory. I'll put that down on the military academy. It's worth 15 production. That'll be done nice and quick. And whenever Napoleon wants to declare war on us, we're ready. I'm feeling like I'm in a good position. I've got great culture. Lafayette's going to be my ally. In fact, I can ally Lafayette next turn. Specialist tiles. We've got our production tile maxed out. We've got this production tile maxed out. Probably not bad to max out the culture tile. There's also a nice gold tile here, although gold tiles are of lesser value in my opinion. Let's see, Leeds. You have this production tile. Let's vortex that. Portsmouth, you're still just growing. Good work. Yes, alliance with Lafayette. Perfect. Now, I don't need to send him aid or anything, but improving trade relations with him will be valuable. I'll quickly purchase myself a couple of merchants. I will support Lafayette and declare war on Napoleon. I was kind of expecting Napoleon to be the initiator. Turns out it was me, but we can start gathering experience on this fleet commander by killing these weak embarked units. 1 and a 2 and hopefully a 3. Make that work. Boom, promotion available. So I think a good opening promotion on this guy. If we're going on the offensive, I think gunfire support is so powerful. The splash damage is disgusting. So let's go for shelling. We're mostly going to be fighting land units, so +3 combat strength against land units will be useful. I don't expect Napoleon to have a particularly adept navy. All right, nice. There's another artifact. I think we have enough artifacts to do the World's Fair, but we can't display them. Okay, we need the military academy in here. I'm going to purchase that right there. So sort of similar to my capital, I'm going to want a few things in here to develop the city properly. So like, we definitely want the stock exchange. It's worth a lot of gold. There's a 12 gold tile right there. We're also going to want the cannery for the 10% growth rate, so we'll get that right there. In fact, we might even prioritize that. We do like the department store for resource storage. We want the port for resource storage. We'll build a bridge, and then I want to build my laboratory and schoolhouse because science is awesome. So laboratory, schoolhouse, and that's pretty much this city well built. We don't need to do anything else on there because everything else is just happiness. We don't care about happiness in this city. So it's going to be busy for a little while, but once it's done, then it just needs to build an aerodrome and we're basically fully built. Keep getting those little trickles of production and science, culture and all that jazz. Then we want to trade with Lafayette as much as we can. So we are going to keep improving trade relations with him every turn and trying to buy a merchant every turn. The more resources that we can cram through our relationship, the better. All right, I think all of the artifacts have been found, so I'm going to send my guys home to chill. I might be able to get this one if we move aggressively. It's unlikely though. All right, main objective is to level up my naval commander at the moment. The higher level he is, the more effective future operations will be. Start shooting Samara now, peppering that city. All right, sick. There's nationalism, +1 settlement limit. There's the artifact. Let's grab militarism. Units healing more is nice. What do you got? You are shooting the city to give this naval commander experience. There we go, +1 ranged attack range. Awesome. That means we should, in theory, be able to bombard it now with even more units. Slowly pecking away. Okay, trade with Liverpool. I definitely want more fish, so I'll trade with Lyon. Let me put another fish into Leeds. All right, there's mass production. We get food on food buildings and fishing boats and pastures. London has grown. Manchester has grown as well. Keep getting those production tiles. We can get flight next. I could go for radio. I'm going to go for flight instead. My plan was to go for a culture victory as England because they feel particularly good at it, but I would need to convert at least 2 more cities to be able to try it. I don't necessarily want to convert cities. All right, let's barrage this land target. awesome. We've got an enemy at the gates here. We're going to need to save up money to do some aerodrome stuff. A scout was destroyed by a land ship. Ethiopia was defeated. A city has grown. Leeds, excellent. Keep growing there. You can see how fast my towns and cities and stuff are growing. It's crazy good. Boom. Plymouth could become a city if I wanted it to. I think Bristol's a better city. So we'll convert Bristol. We'll lose a significant amount of culture and science from doing that. But I have a city that I can inject money into. Get my sawmill and grist mill. I want my ironworks. Okay, we killed the enemy ship. We shall continue to bombard this. You have leveled up, good sir. Splash damage is excellent. And we will also give you the +5 combat strength bonus, as that is the best one. Okay, growing the city of London. We've got 4 fully stacked specialist tiles, so we can continue to stack those. There's a gold one right there, which is nice. Science one right there. I'm going to go for the gold. Every little trickle of gold really adds up. Okay, let's go ahead and mass bomb Samara. We're ready to conquer Samara. Let's improve our war support against Napoleon so that we can have an easier time fighting him now that we're looking to continuously blast. Bristol, you need to get your production up. Manchester, I think you just got your factory. So let's pop out your resources for now. And let's see. We've got tea, we've got kaolin, coffee, quinine. I mean, 6% science. Well, we can get 9% extra science from kaolin, which is really nice. And I can give you 3 whales for an extra 6 production per whale. Perfect. Okay, Bristol, you're ready to grow. Keep it up. Yeah, settlement's under threat. I could buy defensive fortifications to make it annoying to kill, which I will do. We've got an enemy here trying to take the city, which we won't allow. Now, you've taken a little bit more damage than I would like. I'll zip you up here for a pillage. I'll zip you up here for a pillage. Let's see if we can take Samara. Samara is now mine. I'm going to pull back here to heal for a moment. We will be keeping this city. Thank you very much, good sir. We've got our first economic legacy point. The River Avon is flooded. We have militarism now. Being able to heal units faster is actually really important. I'm going to drop Xenia and instead plug in material. Okay, let's have a look at Manchester. You have taken some damage. Your grocer is damaged of all buildings. Ugh. Okay, let's go for draft. That's going to allow us to purchase units faster, allow us to convert our overwhelmingly strong gold income into overwhelmingly strong amounts of military units. I'm going to go fully into the bombardment tree so that we can get the reciprocal damage against bombardment attacks on our naval units. Okay, let's go ahead and pick up our first aerodrome. I'm going to use gold to plonk it down right here. And the first thing I'm going to buy is a squadron commander that I'll be able to deploy somewhere near the front line, ideally with a unit defending it. Bristol, 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 you're growing all of Bristol. Doo, 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 doo. Production on military units will be, military buildings will be really nice. Again, we're playing Ada Lovelace. We love researching these masteries. Let's continue to mass barrage, kill units. While the world has broken out into madness and warfare, I'm chilling. Okay, squadron commander, we can establish an airbase over here. Perfect. And we will need him to have, I might start out with just fighters. Fill him with fighters so that we can have air superiority while we smash these guys. You have leveled up. We'll go and hold the line. Awesome. I'd also like to keep developing my cities. I don't know, it just feels nice. Let's put a little railway station up here in Stoke-on-Trent. You pillage for health. You heal, heal, heal. All right, we got another artifact. We got so many artifacts this game. It was really nice. We're making like a thousand culture per turn, which feels good. There's militarism. So militarism is definitely one we want to plug in. We might even be better than no eternal allies, honestly. All right, let's transfer the fighter to the squadron commander. Then we do the same again. We buy ourselves a biplane coming into London. We're going to do the transoceanic flight. We're going to research nationalism too, because again, we like the extra science per turn coming from that. Manchester definitely wants to get an aerodrome. I will hard build it. That'll allow me to move a pop in here, fill up our rural tiles. We could put another fish into London. Not sure what hit Portsmouth, but next turn we might be able to start fighting back. Now I'm going to move my fleet commander to here, surround with my boats, use the mass attack on Novgorod. It'd be nice if we could get more boats down there. Bristol, you have grown. Keep on growing. Ooh, you have grown as well. Keep on growing. This is the power of fish. Can fuel an entire empire. Portsmouth. Again, Portsmouth, I am not sure what's actually hitting you, but this air unit will peck away at this guy. Let's rebase those fighters. So we can build a factory and an ironworks in here. Let's see, we've got an 8 adjacency factory right there. We'll get the ironworks next turn. Stoke-upon-Trent will be cranking out for us. So many things that you need to build and just not enough time to build it all. Now, Stoke-upon-Trent is technically a factory town now, so I think connecting citrus to it is a good play. We also need to be trading with Lafayette. Like the focus right now, though, on the military side of things is the war with Napoleon is primary. We take him out. That's one less guy we need to, you know, deal with. One enemy at a time. That's how I like to do this. Okay. London has grown. We're going to fill out our rural tiles. It's time to get Radio 2. Again, because we love researching masteries as Ada Lovelace. It's one of our things. It's what we're good at. Now I'm wondering, does a fighter sweep damage the unit on the ground? Yes. Okay, so we can fighter sweep this Changbayun to death. All right, barrage land target. Boom. Big damage. All right, what can you grow to, Manchester? Yeah, you could just grow to any old tile. I don't think it's super important at this point. At this point, once you have this many tiles, I don't think the individual tiles that you grow to matters quite as much. Good shit. You're going to get leveled up. I'm going to go for dogfighting. Focus on the dogfighting side of the tree here. Let us mass barrage Novgorod once again while we try to capture its city center. You have been promoted. We will take the secondary armament ability. Really focusing down in on that. Okay, Stoke-upon-Trent, you're going to get your ironworks. Good, good, good. You're now cranking out 120 gold per turn. Bradford, you're missing a few buildings here that we need to get up and running for you. In particular, the factory and the ironworks. That's an 8-2 factory right there. Beautiful. We'll get that up. 3 gold doesn't sound like much, but I think it adds up, man. Let's get you your ironworks. Beautiful. Honestly, you're just growing like crazy. Just keep growing, Bristol. We're going to kill this Changbayun with our fighters. We're going to use our ship. Got a fleet commander to kill. And this AT cannon to kill. Good shit. But yeah, our goal is not to increase the size of our military. We're kind of just fighting little bits here and there. Keep ourselves safe and keep our enemies down. Leeds is ready for some specialist placement. We've got both of our production specialist locations up. So for now, I'm just going to say, hey, go to your rural tiles, man. Manchester, definitely want to get the cannery. Definitely want to get the department store. Definitely want to get the radio station. So those are the key ones for us as they give things that we like in terms of scaling. So let's get you online. That's the radio station. We'll get the cannery. We will get, well, we can't get all 3 of those just yet, but that is what we will work towards. Bradford, let's get you a grocer. You probably won't repay the cost of the grocer, but that's fine. We're not necessarily looking for returns on our investments. More so, we're looking to put together our empire sort of Exodia style. You know, we want to reach our final form. Okay, we've cleared the city. You are somehow losing health, but it's fine. All right, we've cleared all these enemy units. We're looking great. Nizhny Novgorod is next. We got globalism and radio. Awesome. That's +1 merchant. Oh, culture on the port and rail station. Hell yes. Okay, we've captured the city center district. Let's hammer this guy. Big volley. We're going to need follow-up attacks if we can get them, but for now we're good. I'm going to go for mobilization because I want the aircraft carrier and better ships if we can get them. Let's go for globalism mastery. Again, we're Ada Lovelace. We love mastery technologies. There's a rail station in here. That's definitely what we want. You're going to be a farming town. It's what you're good at. Probably better as a mining town, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you're ready. Samara is ready for some repairs. That's good. We'll be able to use this as a base of operations to support our warfare. I gotta say, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun screwing around playing as Great Britain on this kind of island map. I got, you know, the modern age, it feels a little slow. I feel like the antiquity age is just the most fun. The modern age is the most warfare focused. I will say that. And so if you're a warfare player, that's great. I really like, here's the thing though, like having played the game, like, and I hate to say stuff like this because people will twist my words, be like, oh, I hate the game. But no, like there's kind of a part of me that's just like, I wish I just had like a game that played like the antiquity era or the antiquity age for the whole game. And like, you know, that's what we had. That's what Civ was. And I'm just like, oh no, I'm going to take combat spread. Pact fighters gain first strike ability. I know, just, you know, that's not a declarative statement, okay? That is just like a vibe that I have in this moment. It's just like, oh, that's kind of what I'm feeling at this moment. Yeah, let's blast this dude. Oh, he's having a bad day. So with this merchant, I actually want to link up. Why can't I link to Leeds? Are you kidding me? It's like right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 9 tiles away. You telling me I can't link those 2 towns? You're joking. You're a jokester. All right, we did the first space race thing. There's globalism. Science from Great Works is kind of neat. Lafayette, yes please, be my friend. Be my friend. I think capitalism is pretty good. We're going to make our way towards that. Gold in every settlement with a factory. Very nice. All right, what have we got in London? We have nothing left to build in here unless we want to build like these things. We don't care about those. Instead, what we care about is military units. So I'm going to recruit myself a couple more biplanes. We have a squadron commander. I'm going to rebase him to Manchester. Bristol. Oh, Jesus Christ, Bristol. You're like so far behind. You don't even have a railway station. All right, let's get you an aerodrome and we'll get you a rail station. You'll slowly build those. That's good to go. All right, let's mass attack this guy. Oh, hoping the splash damage is doing work for us. You have leveled up. I do kind of like the idea of going for logistics to get these guys healed up. Also, field commission is nice, allowing us to upgrade them and also getting better focus fire. So I got to go down the leadership tree here with you. All right, Plymouth. Keep on growing. Sure thing. Lafayette, I support this endeavor. Speaking of which, Lafayette, let's keep improving our trade relations. Okay, Bradford is fully built aside from defensive fortifications. Hull needs a little bit of repairs, so we'll quickly repair you up. Get all these buildings done. Now you need your ironworks, you need your rail station, all these things. So I'm thinking factory right here. Boom. +8 production factory, and we'll put the ironworks on the same tile. You're cranking out production. Good shit. You've also grown a bit. So now I can put 2 copies of quinine in Bradford, which will get us +2 healing in all of our units, which is not bad. Plymouth, you're definitely a mining town, good sir. Okay, we've established an airbase on the front line. Let's establish another airbase. I'll start rebasing towards this direction. All right, what are you going to do? You're going to shoot this guy. Kaplow! Oh, look at that AoE damage. That felt good. You're getting a little hurt. Why don't you zip on in to hide in Samara? Whew, they're fighting back for that tile. Confucius wants peace. Honestly, let's do it. I don't see a reason for us to have war. Napoleon, on the other hand, I see plenty of reasons to stay at war with. Okay, Birmingham needs a railway station. How about right there? And then it's going to want a factory as well, but we can't afford it this turn. We'll get it soon. That's some good splash damage right there. We're looking pretty good on that front. Now, they are trying to melee attack a boat in harbour, which is reasonably effective when you've got these modern armies, but hopefully we'll be able to keep them at bay, keep cranking out that culture. I'm going to go for the finest hour. So we get air units faster, and some of these fighters will finally be able to start getting some actual kills on the front line down here. Just watching my fighters do little strafing attacks. It's quaint. Oh my god, Bristol, you grow so fast. It's actually crazy. It feels like you're growing every single turn. All right, let's start getting trench fighters now so we can clear units. I'll grab 4 of those, plus a squadron commander. It'll keep my capital busy, producing an air force, while we move the 4th fighter onto this air commander. Now, Manchester has finished all of its construction, so I'm going to go for 3 Revenges and a fleet commander in here so we start cranking out navy. Okay, Birmingham, I need your factory. There you go, boom. We need to repair your farm. Plymouth needs to be developed as well. Let's get that railway where's... Yeah, okay, I see a good place for the factory. So the factory now can go up over here. That's a double adjacency tile. You put a stone cutter on that tile with it. Plymouth, yeah, good job. You're cranking out production. Nice, we got a couple factory towns. We can plug cotton in. That's going to make building, training land units faster. We can also get production towards buildings. Okay, awesome. Getting our factories up. 6 influence per turn is pretty decent, so I'll take that. All right, let's focus fire this Gusa. Zip you forward. Blast this kiddo. I think you just got a promotion. No, you're a little bit away. That's okay. We're smashing. Pachacuti wants peace. I mean, I may as well. My goal is to kill Napoleon. I do want laissez-faire because we are importing a reasonable number of resources. So laissez-faire instead of ambassadors, actually. All right, London, keep on growing. Portsmouth, you have just been growing like a demon. We're going to take mobilization 2, +3 combat strength for naval units is beautiful. We're going to go for hegemony mastery. Remember, that's worth science in all of our cities. Coming into Leeds, you've got some damage from natural disasters. That's okay. We definitely want your aerodrome. Right there is fine. Doesn't matter where we place it exactly. We have another specialist limit, so we can start vortexing even more. All right, biplanes, do your thing. Love it. Now we can get the interception for range for packed fighters and the +5 combat strength for those fighters. So dogfighting aircraft commander is completed. Oh, look at that bombardment on that tank. That's beautiful. It's very satisfying to do that. I think we just finished a trench fighter that we're going to rebase over here for use in warfare. Go ahead, fighters, do your little strafing runs. Beautiful. All right, let's mass bombard you. Excellent. That is you dead. Now this guy can level up. We'll go for the field commission, which will allow me to upgrade my units and heal them. in the field. 940 gold to upgrade these units. That is outrageous. Enemy has taken over a district of Plymouth. I don't remember where Plymouth was. Oh, here. God damn it. All right. Probably should try to actually win the game now. All right. Let me purchase the museum in Bristol. Play the Great Works. I'll save money and I'll buy another city. It'll be fine. I guess I accidentally finished the Great Banker path. So I'm going to accidentally win an economic victory here. Whoops. It's amazing. Okay. And in this city, we are going to spam land ships. All right. Let's take advanced logistics so you can fit 2 more aircraft in you. I believe we can keep bombing this aircraft commander. I don't know if there's a value to that, but we will keep doing it. Great Banker. I need to have more gold. Ugh. Birmingham, become a city. We'll buy you a museum. Okay, Birmingham, I'm going to buy you a museum. Boom. We're going to display all of the great works that we need to reach the victory milestone. And then, all right, so what do I actually have to do now? House 15 artifacts in your empire. Okay, I've done that part. Display 10 artifacts. Okay, I got to build a World's Fair. Got it. I build a wonder. Cool. That feels a little anticlimactic, you know? Do I just wait 18 turns? Is this a wonder? Do I get wonder boosts? Like, should I swap policies to get wonder production in? Like, it's kind of funky. I promote the squadron commander. Is this really just a wait until you win the game victory condition? Is that all it is? God damn. I guess it gives other players a chance to respond. It's like, oh, we're in a race. You know, it might be neck and neck. Who knows? Civ 7 is a war game. It's confirmed. I don't see it any other way. It's a game about warfare and expanding. And the only reason you participate in these other things is for points and roleplay. That's what I feel like. This is a fundamentally a game about expansionism and warfare. And that's fine. It's just like I'm making that mental adjustment in my mind. This is not a game about building a really cool economy. That's what Civ 6 was about. Civ 6 was about building a really satisfying economy. Because Civ 6's pace was like, incredible. The pacing on Civ 6 was like untouchably good. And I will fight you if you disagree. I hate that the game encourages me to stay on 3 cities, but then punishes me for being on 3 cities because it won't let me go to win the game with less than 3 cities, unless I manage to get a wonder that is hard to get. And so I'm forced to make decisions that feel suboptimal for why exactly? Just because. At least the aircraft bombing each other is kind of pretty. You know what it feels like? Here's my summary. Here's my latest review of Civilization 7, okay? Okay. Civilization 6, okay? This is Civ 6, let's say, right? It felt like this game that had like a vision, right? You've got, it's civilization, but we unstack cities. What does that mean? It means we make districts, right? The city becomes unstacked. You know, we can have multiple units on a tile in these kind of army configurations. And, you know, that interacts with this in a few ways. But it also feeds in with like, we've got this 2 tech trees. We've got the culture tech tree. And then we've got the civic tech tree, and they actually interlink with each other quite a bit. But they also interact with this feature as well as this feature. Civ 7, to me, right now as I'm playing it, right, this is the vibe that I'm getting, is it's like you've got this really awesome warfare, right, system, and then you've got this really interesting like city building system over here, and then you've got like a cool diplomacy system. And then you've got like a really cool, you know, wonders. And then you've got civilizations. And you've got leaders. And it just feels like all of these were designed without being connected to each other. They don't like the interactions between the systems just don't feel very good, you know? And I think that's probably like the key fundamental disconnect for me with Civ 7 right now. And again, this is going to evolve over time. Right now, I think it, you know, like warfare is awesome. Cities are awesome. The interactions between cities and warfare are they're just kind of Wonders are awesome. The interactions between wonders and warfare, The interactions between wonders and cities, you know, it doesn't have that same, you know, maybe I'm a Civ fanboy, you know? Maybe I'm a Civ fanboy. A Civ 6 fanboy specifically. God, Civ 6 was so incredible. But I'm going to keep playing, right? Because this is the latest one. We gotta figure it out. You know, I want to get good at this game. I want to give the developers feedback. You know, I'm Civ, Mr. Civ. So I'm gonna learn how to make this. I'm gonna give them feedback, and you know, that's part of the feedback. Is like, hey, this doesn't feel so good. Let's get hegemony researched. We are able to get future civic now. One thing I wanted to plug in. So this is going to take another 14 turns. Can I come into my social policies here, take out laissez-faire, plug in the 30% production, and now it's taking 12 turns. Okay, so wonder production boosts do matter for that. That's interesting because that means Egypt, I believe they have a wonder production boost ability, which kind of makes them strong in the modern age for culture victories. That's an interesting interaction. How do I feel about the modern age playing it out from the beginning? I actually think it's quite fun. And I feel like I'm never able to do everything. And in one sense, that's frustrating. But in the other sense, that's actually just good. Because you never want your player to feel like they can do everything, right? Then, you know, that's not an interesting decision matrix. I think my real complaint with the game right now, right, is kind of like vibing, as we're vibing things out, is that too many decisions feel overwhelmingly better than other ones. And that's bad for a game, because you want like the landscape of decisions to be interesting and meaningful. And right now, I feel like my pathway to victory in most games is actually quite linear. I feel like I do the same thing every game. At least that's what I'm thinking. Again, you know, these are vibes, right? As we experience the game, as we spend more time with it, we're going to learn the nuance. We're going to figure out, okay, actually, you know, you're not doing the same thing every game because we played this civilization, which changes how you played this age. But it definitely feels like a game where it's like, get as many cities as you can. It's fundamentally a war game, which is going to shift the way that I think about it a little bit. Way more so a war game than Civilization 6 was, at the very least. I love that I can deploy units onto the tile of the commander now. Really glad they made that change. That was honestly one of my biggest complaints with the game, was having to do weird like naval unit micro to get the outcomes I wanted. Like to get units to stand on the tiles that I wanted. There's a lot of really cool ideas, but I just don't think they click together right now at Civ 7. And you know, and maybe this is rose-colored glasses, right? Where we're thinking about Civ 6. I feel like the Civ 6 clicked together a little better in the beginning. But here's the thing, you know, I trust the developers. They're going to get it. They're going to figure it out. They'll get us over the line. You just got to you have faith in Firaxis. You know, feel free to criticize as much as you want, but you know, give them a little credit. They'll get it. They'll get her done. All right, so we're going to start researching future civic. 9 turns to get a wildcard attribute, an artifact, and 10 age progress. Although the age is pretty close to over. I mean, we have played about 121 turns. I think part of the problem with the game is that it's too easy. Okay, here's like 2 really hot takes about Civ right now in its current iteration, Civ 7 that is specifically. I think it's there's too few paths. Okay, there's too few legacy paths. Like honestly, maybe diplomatic should be its own path. Maybe expansionist should be its own path. That's for one. And it's too easy to do every path. So I think there needs to be more paths, and it needs to be harder to do all the paths. And I also think the crisis transition thing, that is actually necessary and needs to be implemented harder. The reset at the start of an age needs to be harder, but the crisis thing has to be like a gamble, right? Like, oh, you know, like here's the tribal gamble. And if you can choose to go through a massive revolt in your cities, but if you make it through it, you get some benefit, right? I think the reset at the end of each age is too anemic. I think the crisis mechanic, they need to lean into it even harder and really make players feel that crisis. I think they were too careful. They didn't want to upset people. They wanted people to be able to turn it off. But the problem is that without a really strong crisis to knock your empire back down the civilizational, you know, ladder a little bit, you snowball too hard and you start just stonking your way through the ages like you don't give a damn. That's a little bit of a problem, you know? Anyway, we're kind of coming up on the end of the game here. We got 7 turns until we finish the World's Fair. I didn't really go for a military or science path here. I did go full culture economy, which kind of feels like the way that Great Britain should play. Maybe not necessarily Ada Lovelace. There's probably better leaders to play that way, but I did have a lot of fun playing around with this. I'm kind of intrigued by some of her abilities and what she could do. I do like this +2 science per age when you complete a civic mastery. I think this is going to scale really good early in the game, and it's also going to be really good depending on certain civilizations. Like this could be really good at Rome because they have a lot of mastery civics. Also, the culture when you know, there's a lot of really, there's something to this. Ada Lovelace, she's quite fun to play, I gotta say. I enjoyed it. I had a great time playing her. Great Britain, honestly, Great Britain didn't feel particularly special. Like their capstone ability, this thing, the chartered companies, I didn't even feel it. Okay, it was like what my mom said about you. She didn't even feel it, bro. Like I plugged this in and I was like, this is like my fucking ultimate Exodia ability. And it was just like, Nothing. I've made more gold than other civs. Now, granted, this was a game that we started off in the modern age, so it's going to be a little bit less excessive. The game definitely feels more balanced. If you start the age in this modern age did feel a hell of a lot more balanced than like making your way up through the ages, which is kind of hilarious to me, because when you think about it, the whole point of the ages thing was to make the ages more balanced. But like it didn't. It's like to make each phase of the game feel like its own, you know, balanced experience. But if anything, it made the balance even worse. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Well, you know, we'll keep playing. We'll keep figuring out. We'll keep learning the game. We'll keep developing guides. We'll keep helping the developers. We'll keep giving them feedback. At the end of the day, right? Like, it's going to be a fun game when they get around to some of these updates. Oh, double fleet commander when building from the Battersea. So, double fleet commander. That is an important piece of intel. That is knowledge that I am going to assimilate into my brain, into my Brian, putting all my units to sleep. Double aircraft carrier, now that's interesting. Not against that. There's armor unlocked. What do we got here? Grow. Okay, yeah, grow there, and then you grow to there, and then you grow to aerodynamics, town specialization available. Sure, let's build that factory. You're a farming town, bro. You're not even connected to anything, which is just madness. Madness. Oh, no, you're connected to Birmingham. Nice. This is madness. Thus is Sparta. I don't know why that needed laser noises. I don't think I need this resource screen to pop up every time I get a new resource or I can reassign a resource. Like, for real? I want the resource screen to manage itself. I want it to go, hey, we can move your resources around. And I'd be like, fucking go for it, dude. That's all you. I don't think you should be able to put specialists on aerodromes unless they're like unique special things, like air commanders. Aw, yes, this is the very first time, literally the first time I've ever built the World's Fair. I've never actually gone for a cultural victory because I've just never felt it was necessary. But because I've overbuilt my empire so much, there's so much shit in the way that it's actually hard to see the World's Fair. But there you go, the modern age comes to an end. I won a victory. Love this little movie though, this is gorgeous. That food looks tasty though. Ada Lovelace, first victory as her. Gotta say, I enjoyed playing the Modern Age at a Modern Age start. It was very interesting, it was very different. I kind of didn't really feel the sense of adventure and chaining together of history, you know, that was missing, but it was still really fun. And it was definitely an interesting way to play the game. Also nice to level her up by finishing a bunch of legacy paths and stuff like that. Yeah, I gotta say that was nice. Ada Lovelace in Great Britain. Very interesting to play, gotta say. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.